Hi guys, Joseph here. Today we're doing another Joseph car video, and today we're doing another video on my 2002 Volvo V70. And today we're gonna be replacing the brake servo seal. And the part I've got is here, it's from Autodoc. I'm gonna admit, with Autodoc, they have nice quality parts. I'll just pull the part out for you guys so you can see. Here's the seal. It's quite a nice quality seal. The only bad thing I've got to say about Autodoc is their delivery time is a bit long. I'll just pull it out of the packet in a minute. Show you what's included. If you buy it from Autodoc, as you know, you get the seal. The original Volvo seals are black, but this is a red one. That doesn't matter. And there's the grease. This is grease that can withstand minus 40 degrees Celsius up to 200 Celsius. That's the grease that's included. Yes, I'm going to fit that to put it around the plunger. And here's the seal. Let's get down to the car right now. Slightly hunting, guys, it is. Look, if every time we pump the brakes, pump the brakes there. And I'm not even pressing the accelerator. Rev up, do it again. Definitely hear it's hunting.
It's doing it until it builds up here.
Yeah, so that's the hut, and it shouldn't do that when you tap the brake. It shouldn't start hunting. And also my engine lights come back on as well, so I better check what that is. But I know the hunting is due to my servo seal, but so I'm gonna pause and get onto the repair right now. Guys, sorry about the poor quality, guys. There you go. When he taps the brake, the hiss stops. For a bit and it comes back and goes, but some days it won't do it. Some days it's doing it at the moment though. Sometimes it hisses louder than others as well. So right guys, there's all the hisses that I keep getting. I'm sorry about the poor camera quality, but you should get the idea. So you probably get the idea. It sounds like there's a snake near the brake pedal. So it sounds like a snake. But I hope you heard the hiss all right, guys. And now I'm definitely gonna pause and do the repair. So I'm gonna pause here. Right, guys, we're down to the car. And first we've got to pop the bonnet. It's the only part of the job that requires the bonnet to be popped. So we're going to do that now. Pop the bonnet, because before we start on the servo, we've got to release the vacuum under here. Right guys, the servo. Here's the servo on the right-hand driven cars. It's for right-hand drive cars. Servo's here. The left-hand drive models, the servo's here. So what we're doing under here is we've just got to release this vacuum. Right guys, I just pulled this servo hose out. I'm doing this to release some vacuum. But to put it back in, you need to put some silicone grease on it because you can rip the threads and that on it if you just push it in. So I've pulled it out. To put it back, I'm going to need to use some silicone paste around it. So now guys, next we can just close the bonnet for now. That's all we got to do under there. Now it's time to disconnect the battery. So we've got it in this exact vehicle. Batteries in the boot, which I know the Americans call it the trunk. So first, all your luggage, just push it to the back of the car. So you do what you can, just push it to the back. And I'm just going to stand that up. Now, you got access here. So now you pull up. It gives you access to this tray. So now it's time to undo the clip. The tray comes out. Now you got to get some bolts nuts to undo this bit here. There's the batteries under here, so I'm gonna. Right guys, we've got to undo these two 13mm bolts here. The reason we're disconnecting the battery is because we're going to be removing the driver's seat. Now the bolt here, I'll show you what I mean. Right guys, if you look just behind here, there's a bolt there, and that's also a 14mm. Make sure, so now we're going to need a slight extension. So I'm going to pause and get my extension. Right guys, we'll get the bolt out now. Is there an extension? Needs to hold it straight. Loose anyway. So that slides out. There you go. That's that out. Now we lift the battery cover up. And we lost something, which now reveals the battery. Hidden in these cars, by the way. So now I'm going to pause and find my size to undo that negative terminal. Right guys, we're going to undo the negative battery terminal. Now we're going to loosen it up. Loosen the negative terminal bolt so then you can pull it off. Now you can pull that aside, and now you can probably tell if you're looking at the interior lights have gone off. You can leave your positive. That's now disconnected success. So yeah, I'm going to pause and start and wait an hour before removing the driver's seat. That's what I'm going to do. Right guys, it's time to get the driver's seat out. Let's hope this don't rain while I'm working, because it's time to get this driver's seat out. So, especially when you get to the servo seal, if you have an automatic, your job's going to be your job will be easier than what we're dealing with as a manual transmission car. So to get these front, I'm just going to send the seat back. Don't try and do this with your fingers. So I'm just going to pry these off. So I'm going to pause here. Right guys, to get these trims out, you get the corner here and go like this. Give it a big quick like that, and these come out. And I'll throw those aside. Now expose the two bolts here. Now we're going to get the rears. So now you're going to do this. If you have electrics, I'll recommend you leave the battery connected and then control it going forward. Yeah, I'm going to pause and get round to the rear. There you go, give it a good pry up. That's that out. That one will probably come out easier because this one already kind of broken, this one. There you go, that one was an easy one to take out. That one's already broken, that one. Now, we'll undo the front bolts first and we'll go to the rear. So I'm going to pause here. Right guys, it's a 14mm socket. I'm using extension here guys. Step to tighten. Keep it straight. There you go, brokenly. There you can probably loosen it resting by hand. It's got a washer with it as well, so make sure I don't lose a washer. Make sure I'm putting this seat back in. This one. It's got some sort of thread locker on it. I'm just going to use the original. Now I'm going to pause on, so throw the seat forward, then we're going to go to the rear. So I'm going to pause here. Now you got to loosen these bolts now. Now guys, I'm going to push the seat back, and so right, I'm going to pause there. Right guys, I'll put the seat right back, now we're going to tilt it back. Now, so we've got to get under there and disconnect all the electrical connectors, so I'm going to show you under there right now. This seat has got a lot of wires under it. So the first connector, that's first connector out. There you go. Lift that out. There you go, that's that. And just to push it back in, you just do the opposite as back in. But for now, I'm going to pull it out. I think you've got the airbag wires out. Don't know where they are. And the other wires are still attached. Another bolt that we got to undo is under here. I don't know how this comes off. But I think we can access it. So the seatbelt's going to come out. I've got to detach the seatbelt, but we can get the seat out. So I'm going to pause here. Right guys, I've lifted the seat up here a bit. And to take this belt off, the bolts there. So I've got to get this out, so the seat can come out. Don't look like I need to take this trim off. I just have to get this belt out. Yeah, it looks like a big tool, so I'm going to pause here. Right guys, to undo this, it's a T50 Torx bit. It's trying to rain. I'm just getting this seat out before it starts raining. So I'm going to pause here. Right guys, it was a T50 Torx bit to undo the bottom of my seatbelt. Now the seat's ready to come out, so I'm going to pause and now lift out the seat, so I'm going to pause here. Right guys, we got the seat out, here it is. That's what it looks like in a V70 with no seat. There you go. Very weird looking into a V70 with no seat. There you go. That's that out. Now I'm going to easily get to the servo, so I'm going to pause it. Right guys, to make my life a bit easier, what we're going to do is we're going to take the rear seat base out. Throw those off to the side for a minute. Now guys, lift up these red tabs. Move the red tabs out. Same on the other. Now, up comes the seat base. So I'm gonna pause there. Right guys, I've got myself lying in here guys. And now we've got to take this panel off so we can get easier access to the servo. There we go. We've got these two screws to take out. Now I have to get this light dropped, so let's get to the start and just drop this OBD2 port here. There you go. There you go, and this should drop after these are out. So yeah, I'm gonna pause there. Right guys, now we've got it all detached. Right, next up, I might have to take this bit out. This side panel. This something like something flat to turn that, so I'm gonna pause a sec. Right, got this turned. Now to pull out, you lift that and you pull it this way. That's how this bit comes out. This. Now this bit, notice has dropped. That's how. Right guys, it was clipped in there guys. And it just clipped out and now it's gone. So if you look up, I'll just have to get my torch, so just there we go. If you clip here, and we got to get this off. Right guys, now we can. Well, all I'm doing is I'm just detaching the metal clip to the brake pedal. So we're nearly there. Here we go. There's the metal clip I was talking about. There it is, the metal clip that I was talking about that I'm holding now. There you go, that's that off. That's that metal clip off. Remember where you worked here? So now, this metal part disconnected now. You've disconnected the brake pedal. But if you want to push it back in, so now it's a brake light switch. I'll just check that you can see first. I'm going to pause and bring you out. So I'm going to pause. Here it is, it's the gasket that we just taken off. The gaiter. Not gasket, gaiter. We've just taken it off. And now we've got some reserved to see the seals to the servo. It's a very messy job. Obviously the brakes don't work, nah. So yeah, I'm gonna pause here. Right guys, here's the seal. So right, grab the seal, this one's in there very loosely so I can pull it right out. There you go. It seals out easily. There you go, got the seal out. So yeah, it's torn, this seal. It's had it well badly, this seal. Looks as though it's had it. So yeah, I'm gonna pause it. Right guys, it's been a few days since the last time you see footage where I pulled the old servo seal out. The reason it's been a few days is because I've been waiting for my servo seal, which I have here. It's from Autodot. Yeah, and now I'm just gonna pull the seal out. There you go. There you go. And you open it up. Nice, it just don't let the top, you don't have to tear it apart. There it is. The new seal. And then here's the grease. Because we're going to grease it. There you go, just throw that aside. And now you need a rag here, or this is actually a microfiber cloth I'm using. Is we need it to clean off the old grease because it's got some seal on it as well. So I'm going to pause and get down there right now. Right guys, we're back under here. I just cleaned the plunger up here. Now it's time to apply our new grease that's come with this seal. I'm going to pull. There you go, got the new grease here. Your hand to rip this open, so I'm going to have to mount you somewhere where I re-grease this. So I'm going to pause here. I think I've done it, guys. I greased it. Now, guys, you won't use all your grease though. Now you get your new seal. Remember, be careful inserting the new seal. Don't rip it and putting it on. There you go. Now here it is. Now. You can push on the rod to make it go in. This is the toughest part, guys, by the way. You might need some gloves to turn the seal to push it in. If I can. Might need it for extras. Right guys, to continue this job, to get the half of the ceiling, I'm going to have to try and get both hands up there. So I'm going to have to pause while I do the other half of the seal to get the first section. There is actually a second section I forgot to mention, guys, which I'll show you at the end of the film. So for now, I'm going to pause here. Right guys, got the first section in. Now we've got just one more section to go. Right guys, you push hard for the first section and you also got to push hard for the second section. You get to the first section, even if you push as hard as you can, you still won't get the second section. If you push hard, go section by section by section. You can't go there and skip to the other part, it won't work. So right, you push section by section by section by section by section. It does take time and patience. I've got the first section in, now we've got the second I've got the second section. So you just push hard, a lot of force is required. Yeah. And you can move the end out round a bit to help you. So I'm gonna pause and do the second section. So I'm gonna pause. Right guys, to push the rod in, I've been using these sticks to push the ceiling. I've been using these sticks because I can't seem to rotate it, so I've been pushing it out of a stick. It really is difficult, it is, especially the second one. Now I push very hard. There's no way you can try and do it with your fingers. It's not going to work. It's easy when it's out of the car, but working with it inside the car is very difficult. It took me about 4 hours to do it. It took me 4 hours of work. So I'm going to pause and get up there. Right Right guys, the final bit before we reattach the brake pedal guys is actually we've now got to put the gaiter back on. So I'm going to pause it and go and get my gaiter. Right guys, I've got the gaiter back on. Now it's time to put all this panel back on, get the driver's seat in and reconnect the battery. So I'm going to pause here. Right guys, now it's time we adjust the brake light. So I push it right out. Now we're pushing the rod in, so push it real slowly, don't rush on pulling up. Let's try it there. Let's try it leave it there for a minute and see if we can get the rod in. Oops. Push it back too far, so I'm going to push it forward. Let's try it there. Now I need to push it forward another click. Right, so now try again. Right guys, there you go. So when you... There you go. Turned it around. Guys, no. Oh my god, I just grabbed my safety clip. Bear with me, guys. Right guys, this clip, it's critical, this clip. Here it is, the critical. That's all what holds your brake pedal in. Because guys, if this don't work properly, if this is broken, get a new one. Because if that falls off while driving, you're going to have no brakes at all if this falls off. Because your brake servo is your brake pedal. Yeah, I've got the red servo still pulled right in. So this one's not broken, so I'm going to reuse mine. So get that end and push that to the rod. Now, just keep pushing it on till it clips in and try and pull it out till it's stayed. That's it, it's on. There you go, safe. Now your brake pedal is successfully attached. Because if you look at the cylinder, actually the cylinder slides. Still's not moving, that's good. So now it's time to get this panel back on. Now we're finished up here. That's it guys. So now it's time to get the panel up here back on. So I'm going to pause and grab my panel here. Right, now I've got this reattached up there. So now we need to get your T20 Torx screws in. So I'm going to actually put my side panel in first. Make sure you're not trapping anything up there, as we're never going to be taking this off unless it's... These seals last about 10 to 15 years. So now we're going to get this side trim. Normally what goes bad is just the servo, like the seal. So why replace the servo if you can just replace the seal? That's what I think to myself, so that's what I do. So if you can do your own maintenance, you save yourself a lot of money in life. You can do more in life. Oh God, just bear with me a minute. Right guys, just get this in. There you go. Just get my screw up here. You start more by hand and you get your T20 Torx bit. All I use to undo this is a screwdriver. screwdriver actually takes torque spits. I'm just tightening the funnels. That's that. So yeah, we're completely finished here now, guys. So now I can just shut the torch off up there because we no longer need to ever go up there now. Just pull my torch out. This torch really has helped, this torch. I've had this torch since 2018. This really is a useful torch. I just got it from Tesco's. So I'm going to pause here. Right guys, to loosen that up, you just get like a little coin like that to turn it. There you go, you can just turn that. And that's this locked in. So now I'm going to pause here. Right guys, you've got the seat in place. Tilt it on its side to put it in the poles here. Right guys, when installing the seat, get it right back before putting it in. So I did the adjustment there, so I've got it right back. Now, because I've been moving it around, I have messed all the adjustment up. So in a minute, we're going to get this in. So I'm going to pause here. Right guys, our first task is to get this seatbelt in. So I'm just have to somehow lift the seat up so we can torque this to spec. So I'm going to pause. Right guys, these are the torques that we need to torque, and it's a T50 torque spit. I've got my torque wrench out, so I need to torque it to spec in a minute. Bear with me a sec. There you go, got torque on there. I'm going to mount you, I'm going to pause here. Right guys, that's set to loosen. Just go to your snug it. Now guys, we've got to torque this at 35 pounds. I'm just going to double check. Right guys, I'm just setting the torque here. You turn this dial to set the torque. I'll turn this right out here. And the torque seat bolt specs are 17 foot-pounds. So we're tightening the seat up more than the seat. I'd thought that'd be the other way, really. I think that's about 35 foot-pounds. That's it, that's torqued to 35 foot-pounds. Here you go, that's that torqued to spec. Now, so I'm going to pause here. Right guys, before you bolt the seat down, is push all the connectors back in. You won't get to them once you've put the seat down. I've totally forgotten to put this in. Then I forgot. Yeah, now push this final bit in. Now just push this down. Now it'll be safe to reconnect the batteries, and put this back down. Now just start them off. Stop them from going anywhere. So now I'm gonna pause here. Right guys, start that off by hand. Use your 14mm to tighten the seatbelts before we torque this I'm gonna have to torque this to 20 foot-pounds because it's 17 foot-pound, but my torque wrench doesn't go to 17 foot-pounds. Get it nice and snug, then that'll do for now, because in a minute we're going to be talking that spec. Now we've got this one to do now. So now these are the two back bolts. I'm going to stick in these. There's a little less access to this one. Get it as far as you can and do the rest. Be careful not to cross thread. Hold it straight. That'll do. So now I'm going to pause and jump at the front bolts. Right guys, I'm just going to tighten these front bolts. I'll get the final up the other side. Now, Right guys, it's time to torque these bolts to spec. Here you go, that's torque to spec. I think that would do. I think that's dead drive torque to 17 foot-pounds. No, same for the rear, so I'm just going to pause and torque the rear one, so I'm going to pause here. Right guys, got the front clip. You get this one, you put this on at the front, just push the clip, there you go. Now just do the other side, put it on there, push to the clip. So now I'm going to pause and go to the rear. Right guys, here's a little bit of a broken one, let's put that there. You push it to the, you push to the rear. Right guys, now we'll do the other side. There you go. There you go, there's the two clips pushed in. There's the two clips and all that pushed in. Now, put the rear seat in, then it'll be time for us to reconnect our battery, so I'm going to pause here. Right guys, it's now time to push in just trying to push the clips in. There's one on this side. That's that flooring. There you go, carpet's in. Now I'm going to clear the mess up and drop the rear seat in, so I'm going to pause. Right guys, now it's time to put the rear seat base in, which I've just got it sitting right over here at my front door. Right, just got it lined there. Now I've got it in right. Here you go, there you go. Clip these both in. There you go. Now, guys, it is time to reconnect the battery. So, I'm going to pause and get to the boot and reconnect the battery, right? Right, guys, it's the bit I'm mostly nervous about, it's reconnecting the battery time. Here we go. No airbags deployment here. Here you go. That's it. So now it's time to get the battery cover back on. So I'm going to pause here. Right guys, it's time to put the battery cover back on. The support. Now, start off, just hold the plate down, and now just that guys, and now I'm gonna pause here. Now guys, it's just now time. Just pull all your sockets out, and now put this back. Slot this back in. There you go. Now, just slide this down. I'll keep this in there to keep everything clear. So now, I'll just bump there for a sec. Pull your cargo cover back across. Now just shut the boot. So now I'm going to pause and jump in the car. Right guys, now we're back in the car. I'll just check this out of gear guys, just to make sure I don't jump forward with it. Bear with me a sec, just getting the key. I actually have the spare key by the way. There you go, till the clock's reset. Now the locks are reset. There you go. I will let that run for 15 minutes. Definitely nice hard brake, no leak. That brake works good now. I don't have to move it much. We're gonna let this run for 15 minutes, so I'm gonna pause now and let this run for 15 minutes. If you rev it up, it's gonna hold revs a bit because the AC's gonna show you. So there you go, it's gonna do that. It will sound a bit funny, don't worry about that, it's just because the AC is going. You have to run it for 15 minutes after, because we just reconnected the battery, you do that. Because you need to teach it so it's the idle's low or the AC going. And that's what we're fixing now. So I'm going to pause until my 15 minutes is up. Right guys, we just did a quick test backwards and forwards. Now my brakes weren't working. I was like, why aren't they working? Looked under the bonnet, the servo hose was off. That's why they weren't working very well. Just fixed it now, guys. I noticed my servo hose weren't working because the brakes were still really hard. They weren't soft. And I thought, why is that? And here, my idle's a lot better. Don't hold rev. See how it holds me. Test it out. No hiss anymore. There was no hiss from that. I did make a bit of a gouge on it. I thought that's it, it's a hiss now, but it's not. It really is good, guys. Honestly, Auto dock parts are very good. Their delivery's a bit long though, but I'm just gonna have to forgive that. But even though the delivery's long, it really has improved this car though. The brakes are better on this. It stops better than before, because they were good. They were really good before, the brakes. But the brakes on here are better than the Saab. The brakes on this, even before the servo seal. But these really are good now. These brakes are awesome brakes on here. Even though I did all the brake job on this, it really improved the braking power of this then. But that's made another improvement. I am really happy with this. Right guys, here's the servo seal. Here's what I mean about the sections here. So on the first section, guys, push it up to that line there. Got a light, natural light in there. Push it up to this top of this ridge there. Hope you guys can see. You do that all the way around. You won't be able to get it up right the way, because when it's fully seated, the plunger will be right up at this top lip there. This lip that I'm touching there. Yeah, so even if you push as hard as you can, it can only go to there. I'll give it kind of right there. If you're pushing it to there, there'll be a lot of resistance like that. Yeah, so you got one section goes right round here. Then, once you get to right, you got to insert it all the way up to this section, the whole way round. Then you push up to the next section, and you do it all round again. Even if you push as hard as you can, you will not get to the second section until you do the first. So, I'm gonna pause here and jump onto the test drive. Right guys, we're on the test drive. Did the servo, guys, it's not been hissing. don't even hear it anymore since we've done it. These seals can last between 10 or 15 years, guys, before they start hissing or leaking air. But it sounds like a snake in the footwell. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. There's a snake up there. That's what it starts to sound like. It'll start, and apparently these seals can end up pretty dangerous if you don't do them, because they can pop out, guys, and the brake pedal will end up really hard. Yeah, it'll be quite difficult to stop if that happens. Brakes won't work properly, and it would fail the Ministry of Transport, for short, MOT. It would fail the MOT. Yeah, so that's just so you know. Brakes not working properly will be an MOT failure.
Throws a lot of codes too.
Yeah, and it throws engine lights up as well. And it'll throw engine lights for catalyst efficiency below threshold bank 1. That's the code you'll end up with coming up a lot. P0420. That's what code I'd always coming up. The braking system of cars are pretty complex. Is that right? Braking systems are complex on a car?
ABS systems.
Yes. Normal braking system isn't complex, but braking system with ABS that's anti-lock braking system. Anti-lock braking system. For short, ABS. For short.
I think that includes all cars.
Yeah, because nowadays most cars have anti-lock braking system. For short, ABS. What's a treader?
One of those.
Why do you call them a treader?
Because you're treading the pedals.
Serious?
Yeah.
Is it actually really called a treader?
Yeah, it's was like an abbreviated name for treaders. Cruise control, guys, on your V70, you want to test that out, guys. If it don't work, your brake lights are on. If that doesn't work, then you might want to make more adjustments to your brake light switch. Consider we have got the brake pedal, you might want to test out your cruise control. And also, have someone check your brake lights work as well. And do that just. Or if you have a mirror behind, you can use that to check as well.
good. These brakes feel better than before, guys. Right guys, we're going to end off this video. I'm sorry for a sudden end to the test drive. My camera battery died and that's why there was a sudden end. I'm sorry about that guys. Yeah, if you wondered why the test drive just suddenly stopped, it's because the camera battery died. That's why the thing stopped. Yeah. But we're going to end off this video now. I hope you found this video helpful. I know it's quite a long film, but it's quite a difficult sort of job. It's not difficult, but very, very fiddly. Yeah, that's why it's quite long. It's quite a fiddly job. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any content like this. And have a nice day.